In this video, we are going to implement filtering using autocomplete.
You're watching Dev Tips with guest host
MPJ
and David. In the last episode, we connected our fake server data to the playlist components and we mapped them out here in our app. Here. Now, I think it's time for us to head on to the filter. Because we have the filter here, and it would be really cool to actually make it work, because when I write discover here to filter out and only say the discover weekly, nothing happens.
Yep.
Let's fix it.
Exactly. That's what we're gonna do today.
So the first thing that hits me is how will this filter component interact with all these playlists components? Like, this is a separate component and these are just repeated other components. I don't see a connection here. Do we have to bundle them up into one big component, or is there some other way to make them talk to each other?
Yeah, they are already bundled together in one big component, which is the app component.
Yeah, the app.
We have an app component. This is the app component, the one that contains all our stuff. Then we have our filter component, and we have our playlist component. So now we need a way for these to communicate. And the trick here is that things get very, very messy if this component starts knowing things about its outside world. That's just a way of introducing way too much complexity and mess, even in a small application like this. So we really, really don't want to do that. We want to keep this component unaware of its surroundings. And we also don't want the filter component to know anything about its parents either. So what we are going to do is that we are going to introduce a filter string state. And that is going to live in the app. So the filtering component, it's not going to have any state of its own. It's just going to communicate that whenever we type something inside of this, it's going to dispatch that, hey, I'm being typed in, and the user is typing this. And that is being broadcasted up to the app. It still doesn't know anything about the app. It just screams. It's like dispatches an event.
The filter tells the app, now this is what the user has written, and then it doesn't do anything else.
Exactly. Then, based on this filter, we are going to change the playlists that we are passing into this component. This way, the app is doing the actual filtering, and the filtering component is going to be completely unaware of its surroundings, and this is also going to be completely unaware that any filtering has happened whatsoever. It's just getting new playlists.
All right, so should we start with the filter component?
Actually, no. I think we're going to start with just the filter string state.
Okay. So do I do that here?
Yep. I think the keyboard broke. Those batteries were... Okay.
All right, so we should add that here?
Yep, precisely.
To the object?
Like the object pre. Exactly.
What do you call it? Filter string?
Filter string, that's... yeah.
Empty string, start with that?
Yeah, let's do that. And then in the same way that we are faking the server data, let's also fake something being typed.
Here, in the set timeout. Should I do another set?
Yeah, let's do another set timeout that happens a little bit after the fake server data is being
So after 2 seconds, let's update the filter string. And let's pretend I wrote weekly.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Cool. So now when we do that, nothing happens.
Yes, because we have to tell the filter component to actually output the filter string.
We don't have to tell the filter component is not involved yet at all. We are just, right now, we are faking what the filter component will eventually do.
Oh yeah.
But the set timeout here, that is kind of what is going to happen when you start typing in the filter box.
Sure.
So this is what happens after that.
Okay. So this is just to say that to automate that we have some kind of state set.
Exactly. So now we turn our eyes to the render function of the app.
Yeah.
And here we're going to start filtering the playlists.
Here.
Yeah. So this is the point where we start introducing another array method, filter.
Instead of map?
No,
we add it to from the like this.
Exactly, but I'm thinking before.
Before.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't want to render these and then filter out.
Exactly.
First we filter this and chain on the map onto that.
Precisely. So filter is very similar to map in the sense that it also accepts one argument, which is a function. So it will accept a function that accepts one argument, which is the playlist.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks exactly like map. But the difference is that filter expects this function. It's often referred to this function here, the playlist, the function that you just created, is often referred to as the predicate, or the callback function. I like callback function because it calls back.
So do I write some kind of logic here that if something's true, then it's okay, it passes through the filter?
Yes, precisely.
With just an if? Or how would I write that?
You can use the
ternary operator?
Let's actually do the logic first. I think if you have the playlist, it has like the playlist name.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do we check for the string if the string is there?
Sort of like contains.
I think that's right. Yeah. Does it have a contains? I think we have a contains in new versions of JavaScript. Let's Google that.
Contains.
Yes.
Includes.
Oh, includes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Includes. And it says here is search string.
Yep.
Yeah. So it takes this string and checks if the search string, which is the state, this state.
Precisely.
Filter string.
Yep.
And if this is true, what does it return? Return value. True if it's found, false if it's not found.
Yeah.
Okay, so will this filter just return this? Is that everything it needs? The filter only needs to know true or false?
Yep. So we have everything that we need here, actually.
That was very easy. If it works, let's check that out.
It is.
So now the app loads, and after 2 seconds, we pretend that we entered something. Ha!
All right.
Yeah, so let's try with a capital W to see if it finds it. Boom!
Yes. Let's actually fix that so that you transform the name to lowercase before you check the filter, because it seems like...
To lowercase. We only look for the search string that is lowercase.
Does that work? Let's save it and see if it works. It won't work. No, it doesn't work.
Yeah, because this is that like we.
Yeah, it's a filter string.
We want both to be lowercase.
Yeah, I think.
So let's just say that each playlist name should be turned lowercase.
Yeah.
And then whatever we entered should also be turned lowercase.
Yep.
Save that. So first it loads everything and then it types weekly with lowercase and still it matches this.
Yeah. Can you add a line break there because it's hurting my soul? Oh, thank you.
The filter works.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, it's that is it for the filtering itself, I think. No, well, not quite, because if you refresh.
Yeah, it.
No, wait, it is.
But we have to connect it to if I write this.
Now, the thing is that I expected it to actually show nothing in the beginning, because the filter is an empty string. But I guess that it any playlist name technically contains an empty string.
Oh, okay. So what you're saying is that
you get what I mean?
Yeah, why does it show everything first?
Yes, exactly. I expected it to not do that but I guess that we were asking does the playlist name include an empty string? And I guess it does in some way of interpreting that question.
Should we have some kind of...
Because it would break if you change this to like a space.
Well, we have spaces in all of them.
Oh, that's true.
But let's just make...
If you do 2 spaces, then it wouldn't.
Yeah, but just like make a playlist that doesn't have a space.
Yes. Then that would be filtered out. Yeah. All right. But either way, that was just me anticipating a failure that didn't happen. So...
but if we haven't entered a filter string, it's empty. Yeah, this is the expectation. Nothing should happen because we haven't. Because if we start filtering out here, and these will start to disappear, we would expect to just clear this and see everything.
Yes.
And this is what happens now. So now let's add so that the filter understands and updates the app state.
Yep. I think what we're going to do is to create an event handler on the filter.
On the filter.
Yes. So type something. Create a new property on filter. You can actually just type it inside the app component.
Inside the app component.
Yeah. Like just type filter on filter change or something. No, like not here. Like on the filter element.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
On text change.
Yeah,
something
that's
like that.
fine. And this is going to accept a function.
Yeah.
So, and I guess that the argument, we're going to just call the argument, it doesn't really matter, text.
Text.
And then you are going to just make that an arrow function. And then you just call this .setState. And update the filter string, just like you did in the set timeout on line 114.
Like this?
Yes. But that it should assign
the text
to the filter string. So you get what is happening now?
Yeah, we have created something that doesn't exist yet.
Yes, this doesn't exist yet.
And when... I don't understand when this will run. But that is...
No, we are yet to define that.
Yeah, but when that is run, it will do this.
Exactly.
Okay, I get it.
Yep.
So now we have to create this on the filter component.
Yeah, exactly. So just to repeat this is that we are now, just like we are passing in playlists here, we are passing in the data object. And this is a bit different. This is the same, but it's different. Here, we are setting the onTextChange property to this function here.
Okay.
So that's a bit of a difference. Now that we are passing in this onTextChange function into filter, let's go into filter and actually take care of that function and make use of it. Where is it? Where is
Here's the filter. Okay, here we're in the filter component.
Okay, so again, remember that this works exactly like the playlist props. The difference is that instead of data, it's a function.
Yeah. But it should react to the events being triggered here, right?
Yes.
Somehow.
Yeah. So if you have done any kind of DOM manipulation, this would not be a surprise to you. Like the input has this event called onChange or onKeyDown. I don't remember what it's called. So let's begin with that on.
I hate W3 schools.
Yeah, let's
click it. Let's do MDN. Keyboard event, key down. On key down web APIs. Event handler. Yeah, this sounds right.
All right.
So on key down.
And this, since we're using React here, we can actually pass an object here.
Okay.
And we can pass in a function here, another function, a new function that we create. which accepts an event.
Just any other function?
Yeah, it's just an arrow function here.
Like that?
Yep, and that I think that the argument is an event.
Yeah. Oops.
So basically what we're telling the input element now is that when a key is pressed down, we want you to do this. That is what we're doing. So we're passing a function to onKeyDown, and the input element will then run that function whenever a key is pressed down, and it will pass an event object to that function which describes the key input event. That is what's happening. So I think that the text itself, I don't remember where that is. I think it's in event.target. Let's Google that actually.
Just throwing something in there.
Yeah.
How to get the ID keyboard event target?
No, I think it's
get input
third.
value. Yeah. There you go.
Get input value after key. Perfect. Blah 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 blah. Oh, jQuery. We don't want jQuery.
Says instead of eTarget value. We will use eTarget value.
Yeah, that's perfect. Cool.
So it returns, now it just returns this.
It returns that. Then that is not particularly useful.
Yeah.
What we want it now is to forward this to the function that we passed into the filter.
Oh, the on...
Precisely. The whatever it's called, on...
Something. I gave it a really good name that I forgot. On...
It was a good name.
Change.
Exactly.
Like that?
Yeah, save it.
What happens here now?
Boom. On text change is not defined. No, because it doesn't, it needs to be, it doesn't know where to find that.
Yeah, it has to find it like above it, in the component above it, right?
Yeah, exactly. We're passing it in, but it's not just magically gonna know what on text change is. We're passing it in whenever we do a thing like we did with playlists. If we scroll down to something that we did before, look at how we pass in the playlist to the hours counter, for instance.
The state server data user playlist.
Exactly. And look at the attribute that playlists equal. And keep that in mind and look at the, go inside the hours counter and look what that looks like. So here, it's accessible to us to the this.props.
Just it.
That's where it is.
Oh.
So that's how we access things that we pass into other components.
Oh, so yeah, and and because we added, we wanted to do something with this function, so it's on the props of the filter component.
Exactly. So we're passing functions around here a bit. And that is a very common pattern in JavaScript. So it's a bit mind-boggling at first, but once you get used to it, it's very, very, very useful.
Okay, so it hasn't broke. And
yeah.
Will this work, we think?
I think it will.
Favor.
No, it didn't. Perhaps onKeyDown is a wrong event.
How can we see if it's the correct event?
Perhaps we can just, let's go inside of, let's write a console log or something inside of onTextChange.
Oh, yeah, it was there. Sorry. Let's just do this.
So now David here is adding to another curly brackets around the text functions.
Because I want to do it on several lines.
Precisely.
Console.log text.
Exactly.
And then I open the
Chrome Developer Console. Oh, we have a lot of errors. Oh, hang on.
Something I did wrong here.
Oh, you need another curly bracket. You see why?
Oh, yeah. Get it. Got it. And let's open the console. Warnings. Let's just...
Oh, hang on.
Let's reload here.
Yeah, I think it actually gives us a clue here. unknown event handler on key down. Did you mean on key down? I think that this might be one of the slight differences between React and
so it wants on key down, perhaps.
Exactly, because it's now used, because it's the reason why this is different is that HTML has one way of specifying on key down and JavaScript has one.
So it's the same with the class versus class name. They need to do this is only for React, whereas they couldn't use the class name because that's already used in HTML.
Exactly. So this becomes ambiguous if you.
It has other warnings here. We haven't looked at this. Should we?
No, it's just warnings. In a real application developed, like if this was production code, you would definitely care about warnings. It's very important. But for a prototype, a high-fidelity prototype, going after every single warning and every styling thing is very overkill. You're trying to prove a concept again. You're not trying to build a production app.
Whoa! It works.
Yes.
But it doesn't work when I remove it.
Oh, interesting. Why not?
It works when I update with new text. So you.
Yes.
I don't know why it.
Why doesn't it do anything when you have an empty
playlist works?
Yes.
But if I have a character that doesn't exist.
Perhaps backspace doesn't count as a key down or something?
Oh.
No, do you know what? Key down perhaps is a dumb event.
Let's take this.
Because it hasn't changed yet. What if you change to on key up?
Oh.
Does that change
once
it?
I release the key, it should do this stuff.
Exactly, because that means that you always get like whatever it was before the typing. Does that work? Yes.
Haha. Wow. Weak. It works.
Yes.
It works.
Okay, so a side note here is that you might notice that we are doing this filtering completely on the client in client-side JavaScript. In a production application, filtering the list might be very, very long, so you don't want to push that to the client all the time, and the filtering might be complicated. So usually filtering is done on the server in a production application. But again, we are building a prototype here, and then it's very nice to not have to spin up a backend server and go into all that mess. You can just prototype it up on the client, and that is fine.
Would you like to do some cleaning up here, or should we just commit this stuff? We can remove the console stuff.
Yes, let's remove that.
And perhaps we don't need.
Oh, this filter string will mess things up.
Sorry?
Yeah, this.
I should remove this.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think that's it.
Yeah, let's have a look at Git. Go to Git desktop.
Yeah, we changed here to just try a playlist without any space. How does this work? If I add a space.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives me the ones that have space.
Oh.
And
that's technically right.
And this one doesn't have.
It's a bit weird, but it's not wrong.
It's not wrong. Yeah, and we added the onKeyUp event that calls the onText change with the target value, the actual text that was inputted.
Yep.
And we added the filter string, data to the state, and here is all the stuff that we started out with. Yeah, seems fine. Added filter functionality to the playlist list.
Yes.
Commit.
Boom.
Push to origin.
Pushing.
And now for fun, let's just push this to our production environment.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Let's do that.
Open the terminal.
Terminal trick. You can just press the up arrow key to go through your history of commands that you have written.
Up.
There.
There we have it. Git push Heroku master.
Yes. This is a very special kind of laziness, because often it's now it was like right there, but often it's quite far down your history. So you just go like press up, like to a point where it would
It's
have
a really
been,
bad laziness.
Yeah, because
you have pressed more keys through the history than actually typing the command.
Yes. And sometimes also consuming more time than actually looking it up.
This is way faster than last time.
It is. It is. Still not particularly fast, to be honest, but Deployments are usually not fast, and let's be honest, they don't particularly need to be all that fast. You shouldn't do deployments every 5 seconds.
And it's some kind of magic happening here. There are servers being booted up, and I couldn't do this myself.
Yes.
I don't care. It doesn't matter. Yeah. I don't mind.
And it also comes down to the prototyping thing. In a production application where you deploy to a lot, and you have this thing at work, perhaps it's like core to your business, then it makes sense to spend a lot of time to optimizing the release process to make sure that it's fast. But in this case, we don't know if this application is gonna stick around like for like this week, this afternoon.
So let's check this out.
Cool.
Now this is the cached old app, I think. And if we force refresh,
I don't think it is. I think this is app. I just think that you had different zoom levels. That is why.
Maybe. Yeah, so let's check this out. Playlist.
Yes.
Yes, it works.
Pretty cool.
You know one thing I'd like to do?
What?
To update these. When we filter here.
Oh!
That would be the most awesome thing for our stakeholder to see that these are actually being updated.
All right, let's just
do that.
Let's do that.
So it's also in these counters we should also. Oh no! We can do it here before we pass that in, right?
Exactly. So we just pass in we just do the filtering at a higher level and pass because all of these, both the playlist counter, the hours counter, and our playlist list, they all get just a list of playlists, and then they figure it out based on that list of playlists.
So we could remove all these and this check and put it here before.
Yes. Let's do that.
So let playlists be a variable.
Yep.
And it can start as an empty array, or
I think
because then we can check here, or it doesn't matter perhaps.
No, I think we can just do what you like. Grab that thing that you have there, the playlist. The filtered playlist.
This thing.
Yeah, exactly. This.
Yeah.
And if we just create a new variable.
Another variable.
Just rename that playlist variable to something like playlist to render.
Oops. Yep.
Yep, and then you just do that thing.
Yeah.
But and filter the playlist from the server data.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Why did I say that? It doesn't. We won't. And then if we have the server date, then we just use that. Replace all these.
Yes.
And remove the filter at the. These will be replaced.
Yes.
And this doesn't need a filter, so we'll just map out.
Exactly.
That part.
Precisely. All right. So go back to look what our local app, because you're now looking at the server one in production.
Playlists of. Oh yeah. Sorry. No.
No. We are running it because the first run.
The data hasn't been set because
it hasn't been loaded. Yeah, it hasn't been loaded yet.
So how would we do that?
I think that we could use the ternary operator here, actually. and return an empty list of playlists.
So we check if the user is set.
Yep.
If it is, we will do all this stuff.
Yes.
If it's not set,
yep.
we just return an empty.
Correct.
An empty array.
Precisely. Okay. See.
Oh, this is magic. I like this.
Yes.
Weekly. Oh.
It's actually not magic. It's just very simple. Yeah. We built a very simple application structure. We made sure that all the components use the same contract. They all accept like just a bunch of playlists.
Yeah.
That way we just kept the filtering in one place, and that meant that filtering worked in every other place because no other part of the application was concerned with filtering. They were just concerned with rendering playlists, and that is why that was so simple to do.
That's cool. So let's commit this change. Filter also applies to all the datas.
Yes.
And let's just push it.
Cool. Nice. I like that addition. I really like that addition. I like how it demonstrated how easy this is to do once you set it up right. Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to check what it did.
I really like this addition because it demonstrated why React is very nice to work with. I think the reactivity here. We aren't messing much with DOM elements at all. We're just changing how the data flows, and the application just updates.
In the next video, we will add OAuth with the Spotify API.
Yes, basically we are adding Spotify login to our app so that we can access the actual Spotify data from your actual Spotify account. Join us in that episode. Woohoo!